In this video, I'm going to talk about a technique that I use in language teaching that I think borderlines on hypnosis. And I'm going to tell you exactly what it is, how to do it, and give you a real demonstration from a sample lesson with one of my private clients. Now, when I say hypnosis, I'm not talking about like you're getting sleepy or count down from 10 or learn Spanish while you sleep or anything like that. But I think that this technique bypasses something in like the conscious mind and goes into the subconscious mind. And I find that the effect is that the teacher is installing Spanish or whatever language. In this case, it'll be Spanish. Installing Spanish into the subconscious mind. And the way it works is that we change the frame, we'll call it. So to give an example of what I mean by frame, think about what changes during a prank, like a street prank video where they do something crazy and the person's like irate. And then as soon as they say, oh, no, don't worry, it's a prank. Look, there's a camera. The person goes, oh, it's a camera. Oh, of course, fine. And they're laughing and hugging it up. They went from absolutely crazy to like, oh, this is okay now because like you were filming me. It was a prank. All is well, which is kind of crazy. That's a change in frame, not knowing what's going on to, okay, now I understand what's going on. That's an example of a shift in frame. So the frame that we're shifting in this Spanish lesson that you're about to see is from two people who are studying Spanish to two people who are exchanging information in Spanish, right? On the surface level, this lesson is like, it's the first ever Spanish lesson. And at face value, like we're learning about the verb to be, like estoy, I am. Where are you? I'm in Chicago. I'm in California. Estoy en Chicago. The typical situation in a Spanish class is the person is thinking, okay, I need to get the conjugation right. I need to say the right things. I need to get the words right. And what you're going to see here is, no, seriously, where are you? And I'm going to guess like 5 times wrong, because what's going to happen is she's going to stop thinking about Spanish and start thinking like, oh man, the poor guy can't guess where I am, so I need to fill in the gap. So the desire to communicate will become more strong than the desire to memorize words. I'm doing this Spanish session with my friend and fellow teacher Fabio. Fabio teaches Portuguese, Spanish, and English. He's from Brazil, great Spanish teacher and a really good teacher overall. And I've blocked out the student just because I don't typically put my private students on YouTube unless they really want to. Let's watch. Chicago, Illinois. ¿Y tú, Christy, dónde estás?
Estoy en California.
Estoy en California. Christy, ¿estás en Bakersfield, California?
No. With no?
Estás, no is no. No means no.
Okay.
Christy, ¿estás en San Francisco, California?
No.
No. ¿Estás en Sacramento?
No.
¿Estás en Monterrey?
No.
¿Estás en Los Ángeles?
Close.
Close?
Riverside.
Christy,
yeah.
¿estás en Riverside?
Estoy en, do I say estoy en Riverside? Right.
Estoy en Riverside, California. Muy bien, Christy. Estoy en Chicago. Actually, no es exactamente Chicago. Estoy en Woodridge, Illinois, cerca de Chicago, un poquito afuera, en las afueras de Chicago. So without telling her this, we've established the practice that the language is not a thing we're studying, but rather a medium we're using for communication. Once she's answered the question, saying, no, estoy en Los Angeles, when I give my answer and say, oh, estoy en Chicago, pero realmente, it's okay for me to go off the rails on like a long answer, because she knows that she just needs to communicate. So she's already done her job. In the typical frame, the person would go, uh-oh, I didn't understand that. But she doesn't even bat an eye because it's fine. We've established that we're just there to communicate, and so she's not too worried. But she's not going to switch out of Spanish. We're already in the trance, so to speak.
¿Dónde estás, Fabio?
Sí, estoy en Brasil.
When I invite her to ask Fabio a question, the same question, where are you, ¿dónde estás?, she's going to find that being in the position of asking a question is the more powerful position. Asking a question is like being on offense. That's like serving the ball. When you serve the tennis ball, you start with the ball not in motion, and you can choose where to put it. So you can ask your conversation partner any question you want, and it's going to guide the conversation. Again, none of that was spoken to her consciously. It's just, hey, ask Fabio the question, and she's going to realize that by asking questions, she controls the conversation. And now that that's been established in her experience, you find throughout the rest of the lesson that she's much more keen to ask questions because she already knows the feeling of the power that asking a question has.
Un poquito. Estoy aprendiendo italiano. I think you got to eat it. Italiano.
Italiano.
Un poquito. Porque quiero viajar a Italia en el futuro. Espero viajar a Italia en el futuro.
20 or 30 minutes later, we had gotten to a part where instead of saying estoy en such and such place, I'm in this place, we were saying I'm learning Spanish. Estoy aprendiendo español. And when she asked me, are you learning Spanish? And then why are you learning Spanish? ¿Por qué estás aprendiendo español? We got into this rhythm where she was firing questions at me. Why are you learning Italian? Why are you learning Mandarin? Why are you learning Portuguese? And so on. And my answer was the exact same every time as, oh, I'm learning Portuguese, I want to travel to Brazil, and so on. And so she fully locked into the mode where her asking questions allowed me to just say stuff that she doesn't object to. Like, she doesn't say, stop, slow down, that's way too fast. To the contrary, I was saying it as fast as possible, and sometimes purposely slurring words so that she would get comfortable, because real life is like that. During those times, she's experiencing input. Like, we often talk about input and output, and people like to talk about comprehensible input, and I like to talk about comprehensible output. So she's getting listening practice by asking me a question and then me answering her question. So to review, there's something similar to hypnotic techniques in this by changing the mental frame of the person and sort of sneaking the Spanish into their mind, as opposed to making them stare at a whiteboard or a book and try to memorize. We're going past that, or maybe going beneath that, to get Spanish installed in her mind as a creative tool, as a medium for communication. For the month of August, you can have 25% off a private introductory lesson one-on-one with me, and we can do that. We can do this type of thing, and you'll experience it for yourself, and you'll feel that what I'm talking about is real. That's through my website, and there's a link in the description.